Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Leicester 2, Chelsea 2. That is a really weird game to come and talk about because so many mixed emotions from it. In a sense, I'm pleased with the response after going 2-1 down. The fact that someone stood up and that person was Antonio Rudiger, and Chelsea were able to come away from that game with a point where it looked like we weren't, and it looked like it was going to become a very difficult afternoon and a very disappointing one. But on the other side, I think the performance is still concerning. There are big elements of Chelsea's performances recently. This still feels very much like a continuation of the Arsenal game and other games before it, where Chelsea just had no control. I think in the first half, Chelsea were good. Without that cutting edge, which of course we know already this season, it's been a constant strain and frustration of not only fans but Frank Lampard. But I felt like on the whole, Chelsea played really well. We were moving it about quickly. We were evading the Leicester press, they were struggling to get the press working, and we were moving the ball into space. I thought Jorginho had a lot of time and space to pass out. I thought Reece James was probably consistently Chelsea's best player today. I thought, especially in that first half. I mean, every delivery Reece James puts in, it feels like when he gets that time, a world class. They're undefendable. And if Chelsea not only can work on their movement from those crosses in training, but we get more clinical, it's going to be Chelsea are going to be such a different animal with Reece James. And I think the contrast once again between the right and left side, I think is just so evident. And Reece James once again was brilliant. He really was. And I thought HUDSON-ODOI in that first half as well was good. He was really moving well. The frustration was we didn't get that goal, but then we come out in the second half and we score from a corner. Bless the football gods, pinch me, because watching Chelsea score from a corner, watching Chelsea corners in general is one of the most irritating things. With some of the quality we have from our midfielders to deliver a ball, some of the height and physicality we have in the box, it's so irritating to watch Chelsea waste so many corners. But there you go, set piece specialists. And Rudiger gets the header and you're thinking, okay, this is going to turn into a really good afternoon. Can Chelsea build on this? But like so many games, and I'll even throw a contrast to the whole game last week, no control, no game management. That seems like a cliche term now, but it's true. Chelsea Leicester definitely stepped their game up, and you can give them credit for that, but I don't think they stepped their game up to a level Chelsea couldn't compete with. I think it felt like we sleptwalk into not only allowing them to equalise, but going 2-1 up. I mean, both goals, I'll accept that, of course, massive slice of luck for Leicester and Harvey Barnes for that first goal. Caballero can do nothing saving that. But the second, for me, I don't know what Caballero is doing, and he had a good afternoon coming in for Kepa. That was a surprise. But he just running like a headless chicken, and for an experienced keeper, it's bad, and it was just an awful goal to concede. And now we're 2-1 down, and Leicester have got their tails up, and to me it looked like Chelsea were just going to fold. To be honest, we scored that equaliser from another set piece, a good ball in from Mason Mount, and an exquisite header from Rudiger. Chelsea needed a leader at that point, and I was looking around the pitch for someone, and Antonio Rudiger proved to be that person. A wonderful header when Chelsea needed it. But at the end of the day, we didn't create barely anything in that second half. And it just, to me, it's very hard to take much confidence from a sense that without those set pieces, which we've been really poor at, that's the weird thing. Our last 3 goals have been from set pieces. A Tomori header against Hull and 2 Rudiger goals today. So unlike Chelsea. But our open play, our possession, our moving the ball forward like we were in the first half wasn't there. We lacked control. We lacked confidence on the ball. So many stupid decisions where players are just losing the ball in stupid areas, and it was really irritating to watch. And I've got to say, just like the game at Stamford Bridge in August, Leicester should have won this game. They had 2 clear-cut chances. Johnny Evans with a free header that, once again, set pieces, and defending for Chelsea just seemed like an impossible task. Somehow he misses. And Harvey Barnes, wonderful ball in from Jamie Vardy, who, other than the Caballero save in the first half, had really been kept quiet. And then Harvey Barnes somehow puts it wide. Chelsea get very lucky, and we've got lucky coming out of a point. In a sense, you've got to be pleased with that this Chelsea side has been, you can throw it, it's a little bit weak, there's a fragile element to it that it can fold. It didn't fold today, but at the same time, I didn't see Chelsea reassert themselves in that game in a confident manner. None of the subs came on and asserted themselves well, I'd say, except for Kovacic, I think, with a few good moments at the end there. It's just concerning to me, it really is. And I think, all this talk about transfers, a striker wouldn't have changed today to me. There are wider issues here, and it's wider issues we've seen all season. Chelsea not having that certainty in a game. And it's frustrating, especially when we had such a bright first half. And it's just the way football works, isn't it? That Chelsea, in a very poor second half, generally get their goals, whilst looking very bright in the first half and looking very energetic and progressive with the ball and fast with the ball. We couldn't make it work. So I think both managers are going to come away from that game feeling quite disappointed, but also will have, I guess, happiness that they've got a point when it could have been much worse. But I think Reece James is brilliant. I think you've got to give a mention to Rudiger, who hasn't been at his best since returning from injury, but I think today really proved his usefulness. 2 big goals that Chelsea needed. In a sense, some people will claim this is a must-win game. The next 2 games for me are sort of must-win games. Considering we now play Manchester United and Tottenham, it really is knockout football in a sense, isn't it? If Chelsea can win those 2 games, they can put themselves out of sight, probably of at least one of those 2. I know our form is so erratic and we have lost a gap before between them, but I think the demoralising effect we could have if we were to beat Manchester United or Tottenham, and hopefully both. But the worry for me is at the moment, you can't trust Chelsea to have a consistent 90 minutes. How many times this season have you watched Chelsea and seen us put in a consistent performance over 90 minutes? Only a handful of performances, and that's the concern for me. We look too erratic. We don't take our chances. We look fragile at the back. We let teams get back into the game where they probably shouldn't. They're not, it's where, once again, we lose our heads and we're giving free opportunities to a team like Leicester, who this season on stats have been outperforming their XG. So to give them extra chances on top of that, a very clinical team, it's not smart, and it's something that needs to be worked on, and it's much deeper than just bringing in players. I think there needs to be that mentality that's around the club, and also just a style of football and understanding that when we go on the pitch. So all elements frustrating. I guess you've got to be satisfied watching Chelsea this year, especially recently, to come away from that game with a point. It puts us in an okay position, and you never know, because of results this year, we may get lucky and our lead may be extended once more by a point ahead of Manchester United and Tottenham as we face them next. So those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and a notification bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.